Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the majestic Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. It's VSC Season 2 and Round 1 in the Styrian Mountains. Magnificent and challenging, this short, high-speed track challenges drivers with its 10 turns, each demanding precision and skill. From the tight Remus curve to the sweeping Rindt and Pirelli turns, every corner is a test of the driver's mettle. The Red Bull Ring is a roller coaster of elevation changes and 3 DRS zones, climbing up the hill with DRS through the twists and turns as they face the ultimate challenge downhill with DRS again. Hard on the brakes, into the iconic Rauch corner and another DRS along the start-finish straight. The lap record at the Red Bull Ring is a testament to sheer speed and skill. Carlos Sainz in 2020 set an awe-inspiring 1 minute 5.691. Buckle up VSC fans as we dive into the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. The stage is set for another chapter in the history of this iconic circuit. The engines are roaring and the tension is building. Let the race begin.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix and welcome to Round 1 V1. My name is JPM13. You can call me Jamie Perry or JP for that matter. And here we are. It's another season here in Season 2, here in VSC, and we go racing all over again. We have people coming out of the pit lane, 18 drivers ready to go, raring to go here in qualifying, and it should be a great event ahead of us. Hopefully we are all very well in the Twitch chat, and hopefully we are having a great Friday afternoon as we get into qualifying here. As you can see, we see some very light drops of rain just appearing on the track. There may not be significant enough where it could increase, but we are seeing some small drops of rain as we get into qualifying. Hopefully we are all well here for what will be a 36 lap race with 15 minutes currently left in qualifying, and we'll go on board with Bozza because Bozza's just started his fun. Also, while we're here, we may as well get some telemetry on the board for you lovely, so you're not feeling like you're left out with any of the action. The Haas of Bozza currently going up the hill towards turn 3, rotating the car through 3rd gear before going up the gears, flat to the floor, pedal to metal, up to the highest peak of Austria here at the Red Bull Ring, before going downhill towards where we've seen many Red Bulls in the past make contact and spin out against, funnily enough, only Mercedes drivers. Either way, the Haas currently running through 7th gear, gearing down to 5th, continuing to rotate there, misses the apex of the corner, but continues to try his best and make it through the track. Needs to be careful of traffic, but traffic getting out of the way with no problems at all. Once again making it up to the peak of the hill before going back down. Needs to be careful on the white line there. Really tucks it in nice and neat on the inside. Once again lets the car widen a bit more up to the timing line. A 104.550 kicks us off here in qualifying and here in VSC. A fantastic effort from the Haas so far. Let's move back up through. You can see Dano's currently on a fast lap. Let's move down to the Mercedes. Motley Jr. You can see him going through the final corner at turn 10, flat to the floor, pedal to the metal. It's a 104.553. It's only good enough for P2, but it's very close. 0.003 of a second currently separating the two top runners. Kenny comes in P3 with a 106.296 to set us off with a great qualifying couple of times here in VSC. Jaden Squires in the McLaren 143.70. No one's broke that 103 threshold until right now. Bags Liddell smashes the time with a 103.779, and you love to see it. Jaden Squires still staying in P2 with Suts only managing a 104.458, and you can see everyone starting to roll. And let's go to the Red Bull of Verk, who seems to be on his outlap coming in. Let's switch over to the Haas of Bozza, who's currently going through the third sector. Unfortunately, though, has invalidated on his previous lap time, so you can see him coming back into the pit lane. What about the Alfa Romeo of Dunno? We've seen him before in Mercedes and plenty other cars, but on this occasion he does invalidate. Now we'll move on to the next driver. Websy was in the second sector. He's gone onto the runoff area, so Motley once again coming into the pit lane. What about the Williams of Roman Granny? He's in the third sector. Finally, someone who's neither invalidated or coming into the pit lane. Coming down into turn 10, final corner. Nice, quick, rapid lap time to set down on the board. A 105.868 puts him P8 on the board and sets him off with his boat lap finished in the dirt. Websy P12 at the moment across the timeline. We also saw the McLaren of Yusuf set a P2 position of a 103.921, so we have our second driver into the threes. Unfortunately, Websy did invalidate on his previous lap time. Looks like the Alpha Tauri of not Jaden Squires, but Brian Bromley setting down a 104.483 and securing a P5 position. Well and truly good enough for the time being. Let's move further down. Looks like Giraffe is coming back into the pit line. The Haas of Sebi on his outlap as he's coming out. And you know what? Let's take a lap on board the Haas here and see what he can achieve. Going up the hill, braking down to fourth gear and rotating through the first corner. Careful of the sausage curbs on both the outside and inside line. It's a tricky corner to try and maintain, but he's done a fantastic job. Once again, flat to the floor, 8th gear, purple in the first sector for the Haas driver. Rotates through, needs to be careful, doesn't want to use too much of that curb because it can see him lose some time out, and he's done a fantastic job to avoid so. Currently in P15, but with no time on the board, there's only improvements to be made as he brakes going into turn 4. You don't want to hit the apex. The curb is, but he's done a good job with his current position. As he now continues through, he's now reached turn 6 and turn 7. I was about to say P6, but maybe a potential position he could be in if he doesn't pick up any higher of a position. Either way, the Haas has now started the third sector as he's come out of the exit of turn 8. He's going to go back down to turn 9. Good rotation in the American constructor. Once again, down to 5th gear, widens out his line, goes near the white line, stretches back onto the inside. So 104.427, and it is P5 on the board. Nearly predicted his position there, but it's only good enough for the halfway point in P in the top 10. And looks like it's settled down just a little bit more here in qualifying. 10 minutes left currently in the session, but I'll tell you what, we've still got an exciting amount of driving to do. We have Scotty, Frosty and ISO all currently on an outlap, and other drivers who've already done their fast laps coming back in at the moment. We'll currently see what Dunno's doing. Unfortunately, he's invalidated again. Still not trying to well, he's not really put a fast time down, is he? He's struggling at the moment. Clearly, he's not been able to put it all together, and he'll need to find some improvements very, very soon. Anyway, Xanon Play says, hello, JP. Sorry that I'm late. Was eating. Bags in P1 so far. You're absolutely right. Bags Liddell with a 103.779 is where he currently sits, with Dunno now invalidating for the 4th time in a row. Well, let's switch over to some of the other drivers. So it's ISO, who is currently going to be the next person to finish up a fast lap, and Purple in the first sector on those C5 soft compounds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are running the softest compounds in the Pirelli range, the C3, the C4 and the C5 compounds, and they should be well and truly grippy enough, at least in the early stages of their stint, before eventually wearing off, probably quicker than what we may have seen in pre-season testing. Either way, the Red Bull now continuing to make his way down here, currently in 5th gear, rotating through the corners with absolute ease. The grip from those C5s is clear to see. 7th, then 8th, really making it look easy here in the Red Bull. doesn't actually shift up to 8th. He had any opportunity, potentially could have lost a 10th or 2 outwards, or believe maybe it was not good enough and just needed to break before it. Across the timing line, P5 right behind his teammate of Verk with a 104.273, and Red Bull are looking competitive off the bat here in qualifying. Let's move back to some of the other drivers. I'm talking about Frosty, currently also on his fast lap as we speak, and the Ferrari just and sector out of the exit of turn 3, going downhill towards turn 4. Looks like Amy Failure in the Twitch chat. Hi everyone, hello to you. Welcome to VSC round 1 V1. We're currently in qualifying for people to set down their grid marks for the very first time here in season 2. Purple in the second sector for the Scuderia Ferrari. He's clearly got some type of lap in the making. Can he put it all together? It's been a blitzing lap. Can he make it a blitzing lap by the end of this, however? Still has some of the tightest corners, needs to be careful of the white line, and that's exactly what I said. Frosty does corner, goes over the white line, and unfortunately does invalidate on what looked to be quite a competitive lap time here in Australia. Australia, Jesus, here in VSC, in an Australian server though. It's okay. Either way, Maddie AU, currently the team who's on an out lap at the moment, is in P14 as he makes his way through turn 4. Australia. Sorry, I was watching like this FIFA documentary earlier on, so Australia accidentally slipped through, but back to VSC itself. Currently going through the second sector, 1.5 tenths improvement, and that Alfa Romeo is showing some pace behind the wheel. You can clearly see, you can see some outliers throughout the field. Who's going to be quicker? Who's going to be slower? You need to be careful how Blue Giraffe is doing. He's just started off his lap time. He's currently going through the first sector. Turn 3. Now what can Maddie AU do in the third sector? P6 on the board with a very, very good start to qualifying as he sets that time with 7 minutes remaining. Let's see who else may be on their fast lap, and we don't need to look very far because, like I said, we need to look out for Giraffe as he's currently on his fast lap. Going through the rotation of turn 4, needs to be careful of the kink of turn 5, which you don't really need to lift from the throttle, but merely move your steering wheel to adjust for the corner. Once again, break down to 5th gear, rotate through the car, 1.5 tenths, just as the same as Matty AU improved on. Purple in the first sector could be a personal improvement. He's currently got a 104.542, and it could well and truly be a 104.4 by the end of this lap. Great exit on the final corner. What can he set on the board? It's going to stick with a 104.507, only improved by 35 thousandths, and unfortunately that is all the Alpine could achieve in this session. Unfortunate for the French constructor. Williams is on a roll at the moment, nearly 5.5 tenths improvement as he's currently in P15 with a 105.868. You can see how competitive it is because your highest time is only a 105. It now becomes a 106 with Kenny. Unfortunately, the Williams does run wide, but it looks like he's going to continue with his lap. Nevertheless, across the line, it's a 106.281, 4.5 tenths down on his time by the end of it, and unfortunately, that is all the Williams could achieve on his first run out here in qualifying. Let's see where everyone else is currently standing and where we are currently looking at for potential new laps. Brian Bromley may be looking for a secondary lap, or maybe just finished up his time. It looks like there was no improvements from him if that was the case. What we can do, let's switch over to Verk in the Red Bull. Looks like he's backed out of it, unfortunately. He looked like he just got going. Fresh new soft compounds, freshly baked up to temperature, but doesn't matter anyway. Looks like backed out of it, stays in P4 with a 104.211. Wow, what a great start to qualifying. Some very, very competitive lap times. Shows you what type of field we're dealing with here in V1, here at the very start of the season in round 1 here at Austria, here at the Red Bull Ring. Kenny's currently on his out lap on fresh new soft compounds as well, and I wonder if Verk might be getting ready to go once again. Could have been some type of issue just getting started, may have gone on the grass and lost a couple tenths out. It's, oh, what's happened here? Looks like it's a two-way collision. The Williams of Roaming Granny and the AlphaTauri of Brian Bromley has now collided together, and unfortunately the two drivers will not get an opportunity to improve in qualifying. They're out. Massive amount of debris in the second sector out of the exit of turn 6, and I wonder what may have happened there. We'll need to get a replay after the session has concluded. Either way, Kenny now starts his lap in the Ferrari, going up the hill towards turn 1. Good rotation through second gear on the exit. Fantastic job so far from the Scuderia, but has another 9 turns to go. Already up to turn 3, the small kink up the straight before once again downshifting down to second. Really nice rotation there, downshifted down the first on the apex before going up through the gears, flat to the floor, pedal to the metal, all the way through the second straight here, where the next DRS zone is active. Shuts the DRS, the rear wing, now closes and goes through the exit of turn 4. This Ferrari is showing what type of pace he has so far, currently with a 106.296, but potentially would have made a mistake on that lap time, and he's made another mistake. He took too much of the apex, unfortunately, allowed his rear to slip away, and that may and now is it for the Ferraris. He has invalidated out of the exit of turn 8. Zan says, and that will be in the incident report. You're absolutely correct. That will be in the incident report, and I expect it to be a big punishment for one of the drivers, or it could be counted as just racing incident. Something could have happened, block someone on the lap time. However the case may be, this could rather go very bad for one driver, or it could end up in a neutral decision. Either way, Sebi, a man who looks so strong in pre-season, could look even stronger here in qualifying. Purple in the second sector. The Haas rounds off the final corner. What will it be? It's a 103.963. It's only P4, but it looked on the edge of greatness right there. The Haas is showing his cards. Either way, VSC Bozza currently in the second sector out of the exit of turn 3. DRS is now active, rear wing allowing for that little bit more downforce and better slipstream and tow as he continues through flat to the floor. Breaks down to 4th gear once again. Oodles with the pedal there as he comes out of the exit of turn 4. 100 kilometers carried through the corner. Once again, downshift down to 5th. Careful of the apex. You don't want your rear slip like we did see with Verk. I'm pretty sure it was in the Red Bull a couple laps ago. Either way, the Haas has done a fantastic job. Yet to invalidate. Purple in the first and now purple in the second. What can Haas do going into the third and final sector? Gets nice and close to the white line. Not over it. Needs to do it again. Does it again. And the American constructor across the line. It's only P12 with a 104.550, but the other one, Sebi, has done a fantastic job to get up into P4. Lovely stuff from the Haas team so far. Websy in the Mercedes, currently on his fast lap. He's about to finalize his lap time in the 103s, and it is a 103.717. Websy takes P1 away from Bags Liddell, and we have a new provisional pole sitter. Fantastic job from the team from Brackley. Wow, oh wow, what a job. What fantastic effort from the Mercedes as we continue through qualifying here in VSC for the first round out. And I'll tell you what, this is well and truly something special. Looks like Frosty Oz is currently on his fast lap still as he goes through the first corner. Flat to the floor, pedal to metal, upshift 6th, 7th, and eventually 8th gear as he needs to be careful about the kink going up the straight through to turn 2 and then eventually turn 3. Break in between the 150 meter brake board, and he's done a fantastic job. Avoid the sausage curb. That's exactly what he's done. You can hear the Ferrari engine powering away, humming at 12,000 RPM worth of torque, and he's had a fantastic lap so far. These cars, especially at a place like Austria, especially with the C3, C4, and C5 compounds, can offer you some of the quickest racing in all of Formula 1 and any of the tracks. But right now, we are just currently watching on boredom, and you can see how just confident he is behind the wheel. You can see how easily he's able to battle this track around. Purple in the second sector. The Scuderia is looking real strong at the moment. Around the final corner, flat to the floor, all the way to the timing line. It becomes P1 with a 103.565. What an improvement! Nearly 0.2 of a second of an improvement. Frosty Oz takes P1. We saw the improvements, and now it's all shown on the big old screen. Lovely stuff. 16 seconds left in qualifying. You can see nearly everyone's on a fast lap. Let's switch to the teammate of Frosty Oz, now on his fast lap. On the 4th lap, he's yet to come in. What about the McLaren of Bags Liddell? He's about to get going. What about the Alpine of Blue Giraffe? Looks like he's coming in near the final corner. No, he's coming back in. So that is the Alpine of, it's Scotty who's now crossed the checkered flag. I was wondering where he may have been. Blue Giraffe, however, he was on his fast lap. Sebi across the line. He's And now Blue Giraffe is up to P6. He's got a 103.986. Just sneaks into the 103s. Verk across the line, a 104 flat. And Suts goes down to P9 as Jaden Squires in the AlphaTauri crosses the line in P7. Now you have Websy in P2. He's crashed across the line. Unfortunately, did invalidate. And you have Kenny there. Scotty across the checkered flag. That's all he can achieve. What about the Ferrari of Frosty? I mean, Frosty's coming back into the pit lane. He's done and dusted. ISO skits back into the pit lane. He obviously couldn't find a further improvements. Now you have Dunno, who has invalidated. Kenny, who's 4 laps down. Ladies and gentlemen, here for round 1. Here in V1, qualifying has come to a close, but what I can tell you, the celebrations begin for Ferrari, for the team in Maranello. Frosty Oz is on pole position with a 103.565, and what a way to start our continuous into the second season here in VSC with that time. Lovely stuff. And we'll have a quick look at the Twitch chat. Websy in P2 and Bags Liddell in P3. Really good position for the McLaren drivers with P3 and P4 on the board. Bags Liddell looks so confident in P1 for so long. Websy did momentarily take it away, and unfortunately Bags did drop down to P3 when Frosty, with an exciting lap, took pole position with a 103.565. Everyone back into the pit lane. Qualifying comes to an end, and what a way to start the session here in VSC. What a way to start the season with a very, very momentous qualifying. Either way, your fastest driver is the team from Maranello, and the team principal back at Ferrari will be delighted with that. Lorenz, bro, you can see him kicking on the pit wall. He is well and truly a happy man. Frosty Oz finishes in P1 on the grid. The first pick showing his skills. Yeah, absolutely. Well, qualifying comes to an end. 24 viewers coming into the stream. We appreciate your dedication to watching the stream. We always appreciate the viewers, and I appreciate the support that everyone gives me. But 24 viewers also get to watch 5 red lights go out, and then it's pedal to metal to start the Austrian Grand Prix. Strategies, we may as well get through now. Here is where we are currently looking for strategies. One of the strategies, we have 3 guaranteed strategies that will take place here. There could be a one-stopper. This is lap race. Normally going to find some points near the halfway two-stop, maybe a bit earlier on. So let's go through it. So the first strategy is a two-stop. You'd go from the mediums to the hards on lap 19 to 13. Then it would go from white to yellow. Once again, hard back to mediums with 22 to 26. And that would be the first strategy. Second strategy, mediums to hards 8 to 12. And then hards to mediums 20 to 24. Another two-stopper strategy. To finish off all the strategies taking place here in Austria, we go back to a one-stopper with mediums to hards with a 14 to 19 pit window opening with a 36 lap race. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an exciting one ahead. So really the choice is, are you choosing between mediums or are you choosing between hards? We are moments away, ladies and gentlemen, from the start of this race, and it can only be an exciting one. Fixed. It could just be because of the DNS with the stream, and I do apologize if it is cutting out. I've already tried fixing it, and if it is the case, I'm sorry, there's not much I can do. Hopefully it can fix itself. If not much I can do. Zandon, I've read. Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, we are waiting patiently with excitement and even a bit of angst. We don't know how this is going to go. Turn 1's going to be a deadly one for a lot of drivers. And so there's only one thing left to do, and that is go racing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights go out and it's pedal to metal here in Austria for round 1. Looks like it's a good getaway from Frosty. Can Websy try and come back at him? He's going to have the rear tyre going into turn 1, taking the inside line. What about Bags Liddell? He's going to take the outside. Great sweep around the outside. Bags Liddell is up to P2. Still wheel-to-wheel between the Mercedes and McLaren as they go up the hill. Now reaching turn 2. Needs to be careful going into the braking zone. Don't want to burn out the tyres too quickly. Mercedes sends it down the inside going into turn 3. McLaren makes contact with the Mercedes. Mercedes secures secures P2. Websy's now in P2. Yusuf is up to P3. Bags Liddell falls down to P4. And Yusuf is now on the attack to the Mercedes in P2. What a fantastic start here to start us off. A 5-second penalty for Brian Bromley. Looks like the rest of the field has been kicking off at the back of it, ladies and gentlemen. The action does not stop at any part of this track. This is V1. It's competitive and close, and we're seeing it right here. The AlphaTauri, Brian Bromley, now on board with him. A 5-second penalty goes towards his name. He was fighting away with the Alpine of Scotty. Now he has the disadvantage towards him. NCR Motley, he's on the attack to the Williams of EXO. Currently looking at the Mercedes, but it looks like EXO is closer to the AlphaTauri, Brian Bromley, more than anything at the moment. Fastest lap to the Ferrari of Frosty with a 1:10.351. Fantastic start here in qualifying pit lane for the for the bottom 3 drivers, unfortunately. They'll need to get back going as soon and as quickly as possible. Let's get some telemetry on the board for you lovely people, and exactly the answer I was expecting. Mediums and hards throughout the entire Grand Prix. There's your answer. So, we have many people potentially going to be sticking to a one-stop, and a couple people who may be going for a different strategy. All the strategies I went for was on the medium, so potentially I've got something wrong there, but either way, the drivers have gone for something maybe a little bit more unexpectedly. Could be a medium to hard one-stop, it could be a medium to hard back to medium two-stop. Like I said, we got all the strategies planned out, already formed itself. The McLaren of Yusuf go obviously switching positions with Bags Liddell clearly showing a bit more pace than his teammate for the time being. Currently into the third sector, gaining a lot of time on the Mercedes of Websy, but he needs to continue to gain, and he needs to continue to use the slipstream and toe towards the advantage. And now we have the advantage of DRS. A 107.492 becomes a 107.252 for Scotty, all the way down in P12 in the Alpine. Fantastic showing from the Alpine as we continue to get going, and DRS is now active on the second straight as we continue to race away here at the Red Bull Ring. Pardon me, the McLaren of Yusuf Goat currently in P3, trying to bring himself closer. Nothing working out. What about the Mercedes of Websy? He's got a really good slipstream and toe. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he doesn't. He parks behind the Ferrari in the rear diffuser. Decides he's going to be a bit more patient, wait for another opportunity where he could be closer and make the move stick and stone well and truly. Either way, that's Websy secured in P2 for the time being, as Frosty continues to hold down the position and continue to fight away as hard and as clean as possible. Yellow flag in sector 2. Looks like it's a mistake for the Ferrari of Kenny. He's gone spinning. Looks like the Red Bull of ISO has also gone spinning, and unfortunately he's now down to P16. 29-second gap to the Williams of Roaming and P17, so at least gives them the time to recover and stay in P16 for the time being. Cudes, it is me, JPM13, JP, Jamie Perry, however you may call me, official creator F2 commentator, official commentator for WOR, PSGL, all the ones listed below. But for today, it's VSC, and for today, it's V1 Round 1. It's a fantastic getaway here in racing. Bags Liddell looks for the rear diffuser of the Mercedes of Websy. Could not make anything count, and have a look at Websy. He's got the inside line. Is he going to potentially make a move? He's backing up into the Ferrari. He has to back off. The McLaren has played it to an absolute mastermind move, and now he's up to P1, but Ferrari's not done there. He's going to continue to fight away. Going into the second sector, Ferrari regains the lead, and Frosty Oz stays in P1 with a 2.5 advantage. Fantastic stuff. Love to see it here in Austria. Ladies and gentlemen, what a start to this race. And you can see Jaden Squires is sent spinning. Clearly a mistake. It isn't Jaden Squires. Looks like it's the hat of 07 Sebi, a man who looks so competitive. He set himself fourth on the grid, and unfortunately now Sebi is down to P15 on the medium compound. Safety car is deployed. Disqualified from session. He's parked in a dangerous location, and ladies and gentlemen, only 5 laps into this race, Sebi is out of the session. What looked to be such a fantastic race, potentially for him. The Italian himself is now out, and that is it for the Haas driver, and Bozza is the only one representing the American constructor anymore. Wow, oh wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a way to start this race. Either way, we can calm down just a little bit, rest, but not weary, because safety car will eventually come back in. Everyone starts to line back up. Everyone comes into the pit lane. They switch their tires, and then we get racing all over again. Yep, poor Sebi must have gotten beached. And unfortunately, poor Sebi is now out of the session. A very, very terrible start to Season 2 for the Haas driver. And unfortunately, that is it for the American constructor. Looks like Haas isn't really looking on the verge of scoring points at the moment. Bozza is coming into the pit lane for what would be his second time already. He switched over to the mediums because of the safety car. And unfortunately, Sebi is out. Currently on board with the McLaren of Bagsledell, coming into the pit lane, switching out the tyres and putting a fresh pair of medium compounds on. So, I have to say, my strategic options that I've set on my notes have completely been thrown out the window. Everything that I kind of planned for has been thrown out the window, and everything that the drivers and teams have planned for completely thrown out the window, ladies and gentlemen. Because we go back to square one. We go back to, majority of the grid at least, to fresh new compounds. Now, in the beginning of this stint, it won't see a big advantage, but you wait. Once these tyres continue to degrade, people who are on 5-lap-old compounds, or even a couple laps old for that matter, wait until they degrade just a little bit more, and you will see a big difference. It looks like, actually, you've actually brought up a great point, Minmarin there. Fortunately, Websy has now decided to retire, and it seems to be in the pit lane for the Mercedes. So it must have just been almost like a give up. He's given up and no longer is trying. Unfortunately, Websy has now retired from the session in the pit lane. And, he ran into Yusuf. Interesting. Maybe we can see if there's any potential damage to Yusuf, or where is he right now? He's currently in P2. Interesting. Thought he may have pit lane, but if he ran straight into the back of Yusuf, I wonder what may have occurred there, because if that was a purposeful crash, where unfortunately Websy did crash into Yusuf, then that could be a much bigger penalty than what originally could be expected. Looks like Yusuf is unhurt from the crash. We'll have a look at his front wing as he drives past. Both his end plate is still on. Doesn't look like any scrapes or damage to the front wing, so no ticks of downforce is removed from his car. We take a moment to settle. Lap 7 of 36, Frosty Oz continues to lead us away here in Austria. Your current pole sitter, he will be your pole sitter, and he will be your leader of the race for the time being. Still hasn't decided to come into the pit lane yet, still on 6-lap-old hard compounds. Breathe in, breathe out. I mean, this is the opportunity I get. Also, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone in the Twitch chat that may be interested, hashtag AskJP is an option. Have pretty much ask me any queries, any questions, anything you may want to do. Just please hashtag AskJP and I will answer away to anything you may want to be answered. Either way, lap 7 of 36, safety car continues to tow along the cars and continuing to just slow the action down. For how much longer is the real question. Looks like it will stay out for another lap. Safety car is refusing to come in this lap. The GT Black Series is actually getting quite some distance to the Ferrari. Almost makes you believe it's coming back into the pit lane. But as you can see, Swerve's staying on the outside line. And we have another lap of safety car here in Austria. Anyway, either way, whatever's happening in the Twitch chat, some type of communication between Al Pacino and Zan Plays. Like I said, if anyone would like to do a hashtag AskJP, ask me any questions or queries while we are under safety car conditions, be my guest. And you only get to ask questions once we are under safety car conditions. Once we go back to green flags, that's normally when I ignore the Twitch chat unless I get the opportunity to do so, and then we continue with racing. Looks like we have one. Cuds, will there be another safety car? Ooh. We're only on the 86 laps in total. We take away that, you can see that we've still 8 laps left. We've clearly still got a big opportunity for a safety car to be deployed. It could be in the second stint of the race. It could be in the third stint if someone decides to do a 2-stopper like in the strategic notes I have. So to answer your question, I believe there will be a second safety car, yeah. Al Pacino says, RJP, is Al Pacino the Anyway, Zandon Plays, Ask JP, is your name Jamie Perry, the best commentator to ever live? No, Crofty's better than me. People who just I mean, there's hundreds of commentators that are better than me, to be honest. I think a lot of Creator Series commentators are better than me. Xandon plays, RJP, am I the slowest driver in VSC? Yes, you are. You are the slowest driver in VSC, sorry. Pump, RJP, will I find true love? I haven't found true love, mate, so who knows. Either way, enough about the Ask JP. Ladies and gentlemen, on lap 8 of 36, safety car is coming in this lap. Frosty Oz controls the field, going left and right, getting some temperature into the tyres, second gear. We wait for him to pull the trigger, plays with the throttle, but he's pulled the trigger, and it's back down to green flag running here in Austria. Looks like it's going to be the Red Bull of Verk, potentially looking for an opportunity to make a move going into turn 1. Doesn't get close enough going into turn 1. He's going to try and get the slipstream necessary. It's a really bad exit from the McLaren. The Red Bull, there's a yellow flag immediately. Looks like a crash. Jaden Squires is down to P17. We'll have a look at that in a moment. The Red Bull's up to P2. 7-10 separating that. Looks like Jaden Squires is uninjured, but unfortunately he is now down to P17. Have a look at this action between P11 and P10. Kenny and P9 and 8 are finding a way. Bags Liddell is now up to P4 as he gets apart from Blue Giraffe in P5. What a start here in Austria as we get back to green flag running. Wow, wow, wow. That is what we love to see here in the Red Bull ring. Continuing the fight away, you can see Bags Liddell trying to bring himself closer to Yusuf at the moment. The teammates really starting to bring themselves to racing distance. Will the McLarens fight away, or will they let each other pass? This is the real question. Is racing being allowed? No, it doesn't. The teammate pulls out to the inside line, allowing Bags Liddell back up into the podium positions, and Yusuf is a young little apprentice to the Bags Liddell race league, and clearly that is the case, that he's now down to P4. Frosty Oz with a 106.861 in the Scuderia Ferrari on the hard compound tyres, 9-lap-old hard compound tyres, as I should mention. And ladies and gentlemen, what a way this race has gone so far. The top 5 full of action and full of excitement. Have a look at this. Williams of Exo now down to P7 as the Aston Martin of Sutz is up to P6. Move from the Williams so far. Scotty in the Alpine down the inside. Is he going to make the move stick and stone? No. Outside line, better grip advantage, getting on the throttle just a little bit earlier. Exo stays in P7 for the time being. Brian Brumley in a race of his own, a big gap ahead, 1.4 seconds, and a big gap behind, 1.9 seconds. Stays in P9. He's able to cruise for the time being, but I'm sure he's going to continue to try and push near the front of the field. Bags Liddell's up to P2, making another move past Verk in P3. Really, really nice move, being brave, taking the outside line, getting on the throttle and staying confident with the rotation of the car. And the McLaren is seeing red as he continues to try and fight his way through the fantastic stuff from the British manufacturer. McLaren, I'm sure, is not done yet, and we knew McLaren was going to be a big pick. We knew McLaren was going to be competitive, and it's clear to see here today. Bags Liddell now 0.6 of a second. If there's anyone on the charge, it's Bags Liddell, and he's showing what he's got all on the line here, ladies and gentlemen. Going up the hill past turn 2, to turn 3, breaks around the 100-meter board, rotates the car in third gear, and he's well and truly on the rear of the Ferrari. He knows his mission. He knows his job. DRS is active and he's cruising past inside line. Is he gonna brake late? Yes, he does. The Ferrari cannot fight back, and the McLaren of Bags Liddell takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff from the McLaren driver, and you can see the competitive driving here in V1 until we got done in by a safety car. Yep, I can see the people chatting away in Twitch chat. We love the active viewership, but it isn't done yet. Frosty Oz wants revenge. He wants to bring any type of confidence, to bring the support of Italy. He wants to bring the support of the Red Bull, but it looks like he's losing time more than gaining. The toe isn't strong enough. He's got DRS once again. He can use that towards his advantage as he goes through up in elevation. Careful of the sausage curb. Looks like it's a worse exit for him. Bags Liddell's going to continue to try and pull away. DRS is active. It's going to pull Ferrari back to him. He's not going to be close enough to send a move. He thought about sending a move. Nearly did. The Ferrari does back out of it in time, however. Back on the throttle, braking momentarily, and now there's an even bigger gap. Using the corners to his advantage, Bags Liddell will not settle until he is securely in P1. Roaming Granny uses the outside line. Matty AU stays on the inside and keeps P14. The Red Bull of ISO continuing to fight away with the Haas of VSC Bozza. Bozza has clearly nothing left in the tank as the hard compound tires start to come into effect. Remember, these are the in the Pirelli range, the C3, C4 and C5 compounds, scraping with the gravel there, unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, who's now in P11, struggling to try and keep up with the Haas. Battery levels, no problems. We can get battery levels for you. Let's go to the front of the field where we can see Frosty Odds with 20% left. Very similar around 21% as he goes through the first corner. Look at Verk saving 54% battery, and you can continue to go down. You can see the battery usage being used. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will have telemetry off for the most part because of the fact that it does help other teams and other, team captains and whatever people are doing in the long run. Is the reason I have telemetry off, because of the simple reason that it gives an advantage to teams who don't have that information. Either way, back to the racing out here in Red Bull Ring. You can see the McLaren of Yusuf go at just continuing to rotate through the corner of turn 4, and the racing has started to settle down significantly. Hasn't fully settled down yet. You can see the Red Bull of ISO continuing to try and think of any type of move he could potentially set on the board. Can't set anything on the board. Stays in P11 with 8 laps currently degraded on those hard compounds as he continues on his current strategy. Lap 13 of 36. It's been an exciting one so far, ladies and gentlemen, and there's only more racing to come ahead of it. Red Bull in P11 going downhill and trying to get a better exit out of turn 10. Nothing can come about it, however, and P11 stays with ICO. See if we go a bit further down there can be any more options for racing, but it seems like the main racing going on is between ICSO Skits and VSC Bozza. And what I can tell you, Bozza has run out of battery. You can see by the red flashing on the back of the car there, Red Bull thought about it. Red Bull didn't go for it, however. Now using one in the rotation of the car, big amount of wheel spin from the Red Bull, nearly lost it and went into the Pirelli barrier. Looks like he's kept it all together. Wheel to wheel action between the Red Bull of Verk and Yusuf Goat, who now goes back up to P3. It's 2 McLarens on the podium as Yusuf gets the overtake done going into turn 6, but either way, fantastic move. Frosty Oz, the Ferrari, who looks so competitive all race, picks up a 3-second time penalty on lap 14 of 36. Must have picked it up on track limits going through turns 7 and 8. Unfortunate for the Ferrari driver, who's now on the disadvantage. Cannot get rid of it in the pit lane. That's a permanent penalty that will stay with him all the way to the end, or all the way until he hits a barrier. Whatever the case may be, Frosty is now on the disadvantage. Helps when Yusuf is only 2 seconds down on the Ferrari. Right now, McLaren are seeming like the strongest team out there, and you can see the McLaren team principal on the pit wall kicking and screaming with joy as he knows his team has come together to work not only as a team, but to work competitively to both be on the podium. Verk only 2 tenths, now 1 cent. Let's switch to him. Verk's going to take the inside line. Brakes late. McLaren still on the outside. They're going to fight away. Looks like Yusuf can't get the exit. Potential contact on the rear tire. Looks to be all good. Red Bull back up to P3. McLaren with nothing left to offer. McLaren back down to P4. And what a move for Verk to get back onto the podium. Woo-hoo-hoo. We love to see this type of racing, ladies and gentlemen. It just shows you how close racing can be and how great racing can be for you guys, for me as a commentator. It is really just such a sight to see. This is why I love motorsport. Alpine is looking strong as well. You're right. Alpine in P5 and 6. Great points in the constructors because, ladies and gentlemen, this is no longer preseason testing. This is no longer an opportunity to show the team principals what you're made of. This is to show why you are here. This is to show why you've been picked. And it's to show why you make a move down the inside to get back up into P3. And for the McLaren drivers, for the Alpine drivers, for one of the Red Bull drivers, they're doing exactly that. Fantastic so far. You're right, this is VSC Season 2 V1 Round 1, the Austrian GP, and Verk now P3, and safety car has been deployed. ISO Skits is out of the session. The Red Bull potentially making contact at some part of the track. You can see it just before it dissipated away. The Red Bull making contact with the barrier right there, the Pirelli one. Unfortunate for the Red Bull, he's out. Captain Jack saying, "Go orange car." There it is, says safety car has been deployed, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag AskJP has opened, and so has the pit window. This is a free pit stop for all the drivers who didn't originally go into the pit lane. Fantastic stuff from the people who decided to stay out, clearly getting the advantage now. Austria has shown so much racing, so much controversies, and now we're on to the second safety car. We're not even done yet. We still have 20 laps to go, and it's just getting more exciting by the minute, ladies and gentlemen. This is what defines a racing league. This is what defines drivers, and this is what defines how people are seen. Team principals all over the pit will be kicking and screaming and yelling to both ISO Skits, Websy and Sebi as they're all out of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, we settle because what a race it's been. ISO Skit says McLaren just put me in the wall, and unfortunate for the Red Bull. I wonder, that was it Yusuf or was it Bags? I'd love to get a bit more of an insight from you, ISO, when you get the opportunity. Looks like, by the way, we were going to get Captain Jack, as you can see down in the corner. We were going to get Captain Jack in the commentary box, but unfortunately he couldn't make it in time and will not be included in this commentary session today. But he was supposed to join us today. Just letting you know. Let's far go King. Okay, that's barely any English. Discreet. Let's far King go Bozza. Fantastic English from Discreet in the Twitch chat. Xandon Plays in the Twitch chat says, hashtag AskJP, will there be driver interviews? Well, hopefully we don't have PC runners in the top 3, and we can. And if we do, don't think we can run interviews, unfortunately. If they have a PlayStation, or if they can join the PlayStation app, very happy to. I mean, they can be on PC if they've got the PS app and if they've got a PS account. Join me in the commentary box. I can invite you if you're not already in it, and we can go from there. So there's not a 100% chance there'll be a driver's interview, but there's not a, 0% chance. Cuds says, RJP, will 30 seconds go by without Xandon commenting in the Twitch chat? No, there will not. You know, this is why I love Xandon Plays, because he is such a loyal, and he is a fantastic member in the community, the Oceanic community overall. You'll see him in all types of leagues, if that's IRL, if that's OSRL, if that's VSC, it does not matter. It does not matter where or when he is there, and we gotta respect the effort he puts in, because he's one of the most loyal viewers I have ever seen. I swear I see him every time he's not doing commentary or he's not driving. Really is a king of it all. Either way, AskJP continues to fall away here. Little cinematic shot as through turn 4. What I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, safety car has been deployed for quite a while, and it's really just a moment of time before eventually we go back to green flag running. Before we do get back to green flag running, let's run through the position changes. Scotty, 12 positions higher than where he originally started. He went from P15 and now he's in P3. It's sounding like OSRL with Jack Humphreys last night. Oh man, what a race that was. He was 12 positions higher in P3. He started exactly where he was. He's now in the podium, so a fantastic effort from Scotty. Now in the Alpine, 2 positions higher for Bags Liddell, and Bags Liddell will lead us away here. Ladies and gentlemen, what if I magically get PS up? Then get PS up, man. We need to get back to the action out on hand. McLaren leads us away here, pulls the trigger, and it's going to go back to green flag running as he crosses the timing line. Bozza picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits off the bat. Ladies and gentlemen, Mathieu now down to P16. He's clearly had some time at stake. You can see a couple of drivers really down at the pack on the track map. Have a look at the Ferrari though. Frosty also don't want to spend any time behind the McLaren. Bags Liddell has nothing left on the attack. Now have a look at him. Inside line, the Scuderia Ferrari is now ahead of the McLaren. Ferrari up into P1. It's not done yet. Have a look at the McLaren. He's going to get a slipstream and a really good tow. Is he going to use the battery towards his advantage? No, he doesn't. Stays in P2 for the time being. Frosty stays in P1. What a fantastic race so far. Wow. Captain Jack says, ask JP, will the yellow tyre last 18 laps? No, it will not. No, actually, you know what? I can actually confirm if it will or not, actually. So, before I format my words here, Captain Jack, calm down, Jack, it's not safety car conditions. We can quickly answer it as we continue to get underway here. If we have a quick look at the C5 compound, I mean, we're looking at the C3 because they are the mediums. Having a look at the C3 compounds, Actually, it's just a weird colouring. It does seem, if it was the last 18 laps, it would rather be overheating or too cold at that point. So I would say most likely it could run at that point, but you high degradation, potentially in the near 50% range. So yeah, it's pretty unlikely to see someone go 18 laps on the medium compounds. Either way, back to the action out on hand. Lap 20 of 36. Fantastic job by all the drivers so far. Slipstream and Toe at an all-time high. Is he finally going to think about making the move? Kenny doesn't get any better in his race. 3-second time penalty now to his name, and Bagsadell does not send the move either. Can confirm 30 seconds has passed. You're right, 30 seconds has passed, and Zandon hasn't sent a message. Fantastic job for him. Either way, the gaps, have a look at, we should really talk about these gaps at the moment. We're currently on an interview timing sheet. Have a look at this, 3 tenths, 7 tenths, 4 tenths. You know, the gaps are so close to each other. It finally slips apart with DRS at 1.1 second. I'll tell you what, no one is really separated by much, that's for sure. Either way, on this lap, DRS reactivated, and you can see the excitement behind some of the helmets, some of the visors there in the cars. It's clearly something they adore, and it's clearly going to bring some racing back here in Austria. McLaren just trying to bring himself closer. Clearly with this lag, someone's leaving. How did I know? Classic EA. Either way, the McLaren rotating through the corner. Bagsadell currently in P2. Really good rotation there. He's going to ERS taking the inside line. McLaren's waiting no longer. Have a look at him. Uses it. Brakes late. Ladies and gentlemen, the McLaren's back up to P1. Fantastic effort. Nearly slips on the rear there. Ferrari could come back at him. It's not done yet. Using the braking zone towards his advantage. Trying to see where he may want to brake. Loses a bit more time outwards. 6th gear. Now braking down to 5th. Continuing his best to try and bring himself closer to the field. And I'll tell you what, this has been an exciting one so far, and it's going to continue to be an exciting one. Uses the white line towards his advantage, making sure not to pick up a track limit penalty. And now who's got DRS? Ferrari's got the DRS. It was once Bagsadell with a 105.794, fastest lap on the board, but will it become Frosty Oz in P2, who now gets DRS with the advantage? P1 is at an all-time high. Have a look at him. He's pushing like no tomorrow. Is he going to make the move stick? Inside line? No, not close enough. Just decides to wait, and you know what? He is being smart. He's going to use DRS chicken for the next straight, but he's missed out big time. Bad exit onto the next corner. He's got DRS once again. He's using the battery. He's pushing inside line. The Ferrari makes the overtake stick. Mamma mia, Maranello celebrates at Italy, and you can see Ferrari can celebrate once again. They're back up to P1. This has been quite a battle between these two, and it's going to continue to be this way. Lovely, jovely pasta in your belly, says Sebi in the Twitch chat. I mean, he actually doesn't, but somewhere on Discord it is the case. Lovely, jovely. Whoa, fantastic stuff so far in this race. My God. And we continue to see more drivers using DRS towards their advantage. Have a look at that. Like I said, Brian Bromley down in P7. There's a 6-position DRS train. That's how long it lasts for. That's how competitive this grid is. And we are not done there. Mamma mia, Maranello is amazing. Thank you. Either way, the McLaren of Bagsadell, 3 tenths. He's on the attack again. Mamma mia, McLaren going to be attacking on Mamma mia, Maranello. Have a look at him. Inside line, decides to send it, and he sends it well and truly. Ferrari down to P2 again. McLaren still fighting away. The battle between these two is still not done, and it will still continue not to be done, because they know what they need to do, and they know what they need to achieve. They're at an all-time high, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm at an all-time high enjoying the race. Continues to unfold here in the Red Bull Ring. Lap 23 of 36. We're already on to the second stint of action, already held by the safety car that was deployed. Have a look at the Ferrari. DRS will be active once again, but we all know he's going to save it, potentially straight, or the straight after that. We get 3 DRS zones back to back to back, and we know how exciting the action here can be at Red Bull Ring, and we're seeing how if you thought V2 was exciting, welcome to V1. A whole different level of competition. Ferrari on the outside line. brakes early, third gear, rotates the car, allowing for a really good exit against the McLaren. McLaren also gets a good exit. Once again, the battery in DRS is too powerful for the British engine. And have a look at the Ferrari P1 re-secured again. The Ferrari continues not to back down. The McLaren continues not to back down. And it's allowing your 12 position gain. Scotty, who started P15, who's now in P3, he's only 8 tenths away. We thought it could be a 2 battle, but it could become 3 because Scotty is making his way closer and closer to the 2 drivers. He's also got DRS. Check VSC race clips in Discord. I will in a moment. Either way, the McLaren of Bags Liddell, he's got DRS. ERS is still being saved there, but he's probably using just a little bit too much. The Ferrari has been a bit more conservative with it. Either way, the McLaren through the first corner. He's going to continue to push till the very end. Here comes the McLaren. Is he going to make the move? Yes, he is. Inside line. He's going to send it. Going into turn 3. Brakes late. Rotates the car on the outside line. Gets nice and close to the white line. Nothing Ferrari can do. But now Ferrari gets DRS. And Ferrari's not done. He's going to come right back at him. And now using the inside lane. Brakes late. Just like the McLaren did going into turn 3. And now turn 3 becomes turn 4 because Ferrari is up to P1. Fantastic. Get over how close and competitive the grid is being shown at the moment. Lap 25 of 36, we've got 11 laps remaining, and we could be going on for another 11 laps. Have a look at this. Verk's now made the move on Scotty as he goes back up to P3. Scotty still has 11 positions gained, still a very significant task, and I expect him to pick up driver of the day by the end of this session, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, oh wow. Oh, I need to take a breath 1 second because now we need to get back to the action. Now going to take the inside line. DRS active, using the battery to its advantage. Brakes late going into turn 3, and it's moved Sandstone again. Maybe Bags Liddell was not timing it correctly, because have a look at the Ferrari. He's not done yet. Here comes the Scuderia Ferrari. Mamma mia, Maranello. He's back up to P1. 2.5 tenths going into the exit of turn 4, and it continues to go back and forth and back and forth. Blue Giraffe falls back down to P10. A big battle between the Alpine and Haas. See how they're getting along at the moment. Looks like the Alpine gets a better exit going out of the exit of turn 4. Really, really good effort from the French constructor, who now brings himself even further into the point. The Haas, the American team of VSC Boz, are still struggling out there, but he needs to bring it back into contention if he wants to continue to fight away here. I need a moment to breathe. Either way, Bags Liddell currently in P2. DRS is active. He's waiting for an opportunity to potentially make a move. Can't let anything stick on the board. The McLaren has been all over the back of the Ferrari, and now he's actually been patient enough to wait. Have a look at the McLaren. He's gonna set it up. DRS active. Nearly 8th gear. He's on it now. Braking late. Ladies and gentlemen, another move is made, and another person takes the lead of the race. It's between these two this entire way. Have a look at Verk. The Red Bull starting to make a comeback on it. Have a look at Yusuf now making a move on Scotty. Scotty's clearly got too much degradation on the tyre, but it's not too degraded for the other drivers. Verk's currently in P3. 4 separate the Red Bull to the rest of the nearly equal gaps between the top 3. This could become a all the way to the very end, ladies and gentlemen. And please check out the link that Social Queens just put in the bio. Please check out VSC. It's a fantastic league with some fantastic people, and I'd be very pleased to see you join the server. Either way, Red Bull 5.5 tenths separating there. Frosty's not done. 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths at its maximum. DRS is active. He's going to use everything he's got all the way to the checkered flag. Lap 28 of 36. He's not going to make the move. He's going to back out of it because he knows he needs to wait. He knows he needs the opportunity to get past him again. Frosty knows Bags knows what he's doing, and maybe for the first time, there's not going to be a move going into turn 4. And you know what? That's exactly the case. Going into turn 4, no overtake is made. Yusuf has just brought that little bit closer. It was Verk, then it was Yusuf, then it was Dunno, then it was Scotty. Moves are being made rapidly here, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Bromley currently behind Scotty by 5 seconds. Caution in the first sector. Aston Martin's made a mistake. Sutz has gone spinning. Can he get the car moving in time? Doesn't look like there'll be a VSC or a safety car. And we go back to green flag running here in VSC. Pardon me. Either way, once again, you know what time it is. It's time for some racing, ladies and gentlemen. I've just met one of the VSC lads. Was it Captain Jack? Yeah, Captain Jack's one of the VSC guys. Absolute king. Captain Jack's also known as VSC Pablo, just in case you want to say that. He also was supposed to commentate today, but didn't get the opportunity. Either way, Ferrari, once again, only 2/10 off the McLaren, rotating through turn 3. Can he get the opportunity? No, he can't. Unfortunately, loses out too much, and it means that he stays in P2 for the time being. Bags Adele still has the offense and defense necessary to try and defend from the Ferrari that's currently got DRS. But what I can tell you, it's currently looking like it's going to go in McLaren's favor. Once again, this is now a 3-way battle. Have a look at how close Yusuf is. It was once a 2-way battle. Then it was 3, and then it was the entire grid when we had the start of the race, and when we had safety car that now twice in this race. But have a look at this. Lap 29 to 36, the McLaren of Yusuf Goat is still pushing as hard as he can. The Aston Martin of Sutz now retires in the pit lane, and Yusuf is on the attack more than what Frosty is on Bags. DRS and all of them. A bit of ERS left in there, a slither left in the other McLaren. Bags Adele needs to continue to defend away from Ferrari, but the McLaren, it's still not done, ladies and gentlemen. I say this over and over, and I say this in so many different leagues because it promotes the league and it promotes the racing. It's never done until we reach that checkered flag, and it's clear to see here because the racing is absolutely at its pinnacle at the moment. This is Formula 1, this is VSC, and it's V1 at its finest. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause to the drivers on lap 30 of 36. 6 more laps of action to go, and we're still not done. 1.1 seconds separate the Red Bull and P4 and the top 3 at the moment, and though there's been action throughout the entirety of the field, where it's been most exciting is right here at the front. We'll make sure to keep an eye out for gaps at the moment, but right now the most exciting peak, like I said, is right here. 3.5 tenths is Frosty, and now also Yusuf at a very similar gap. Gets a bad exit going through turns 9 and 10. And have a look at the Ferrari. 3.5 tenths there. The mediums needing to be used at its all peak of performance. Rubber being burnt off rapidly as we get going for lap 31 to 36. 5 laps remaining in this race. DRS once again active. Battery being used. The Scuderia Ferrari doesn't even need to try. The Ferrari is taking the lead. Once again there was a wait, and we waited long enough. And now look at the McLaren of Bags Adele. He's going to get the overtake back on him using the DRS. You can see the rear wing. You can see the teammate of Yusuf. He's starting to bring himself closer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is racing, and have a look at this. Frosty now backs out of it. Frosty couldn't keep the move. He's back down to P2. Bags Adele and Frosty have been fighting away all race long, and Yusuf could be asking for a piece of it at any point soon. Switch back and a half from the McLaren as one lap goes down and another lap begins. Verk now down to 9 tenths. He's back inside the DRS zone. Wow, oh wow, that is the only word I can say right now. I'm nearly speechless for how good this race has been. But we're not done yet. The Ferrari nearly a single tenth away. Loses a couple of tenths on the exit of turn 1. The Ferrari's got DRS. He's got the battery. They're becoming desperate for moves. There's not many laps remaining. The Ferrari is now up to P1 again. Back to back to back to back, and it's not done yet. It's Ferrari versus McLaren. It's McLaren versus Ferrari. It's Frosty versus Bags. Bags takes the inside. inside. Bags takes P1. Bags takes the lead of the race once again. Yusuf is only bringing himself closer to the action. This is going to be a big finish, ladies and gentlemen. They continue to race away. They continue to burn up and destroy their tires. Yusuf is only 4.5 tenths away. Is he going to get close enough to make a move by the very end of it? Is it going to dissipate too quickly for it to happen? All of them on 15 lap tires, apart from more of the rear runners. You can see the hard compound runners, 21, 15, 18 laps. They're clearly trying to push all the way to the checkered flag, and the checkered flag is awaiting them with excitement and anticipation, because wow, what a race it's been. And you know what, Zandon, wow is in my dictionary 100%, because it's a fantastic word to say. It incriminates, I mean, it excites, it exaggerates the action being used. Frosty will make a mistake trying to push. You know what? You could be correct there. Also forget, ladies and gentlemen, how are we forgetting this? Bags Liddell still has no penalty. And you, Cuds, don't read this, JP. Damn it, comms curse. Oh no, it's comms curse, have I? Oh no. Either way, listen, I've commentated curse so many people anymore. The gap has unfortunately started to extend, and the racing is starting to come to a close. Lap 33 of 36. There's only 3 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at the Hasser using the inside lines. He's going to think about making a move. Doesn't make a move. Have a look at the AlphaTauri behind him. It's an AlphaTauri sandwich between the Haas. Can the AlphaTauri of Jaden Squires make another move stick? The Sailorman himself looking to try and sail past the Haas. VSC Bozza in P8. He's got a good run through on the Haas. Still nothing can come to attention. Let's go back to the front. Have a look at the Ferrari of Frosty Oz. Apparently a mistake could be made with him pushing. May not be the case. Maybe it will. Either way, DRS is active inside line. Frosty Oz back on the attack all over again. 22 viewers watching this all unfold, and once again Frosty is up to P1. Bags Liddell will not sit for it. He will not settle for it. DRS active. Lap 34 of 36. The action continues again and again and again, and look how close Yusuf is now. Yusuf is in 2.5 tenths, now 3 tenths. Extends again. Frosty 1.5 tenths, a single tenth now. Ferrari and McLaren fight away till the very end, and it still just shows the excitement at its hand. 3.5 tenths, 34 of 36. We're about to go into the penultimate, the pinnacle of motorsport, and we're about to go into the penultimate lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen. No more action behind these top 2. Yusuf has fallen apart. Frosty using it immediately. DRS active going into turn 1. He's ahead of Bags Liddell. Now Bags Liddell needs to somehow try and think about how he wants to approach this. Does he want to overtake him immediately, or does he want to wait a little bit? Wait until he's up until turn 3 exit, then use it. There's a mistake by a Williams. Looks like it's Roman Granny. There's no opportunity for safety anymore. Penultimate lap stops it in its tracks. Have a look at the McLaren, however. Bags Liddell was patient, and he was patient enough to make the move. DRS active. ERS being used. Bags Liddell with P1 all over again. My, oh my, what a race it's been. McLaren and Ferrari all the way to the checkered flag. And even if it wasn't the case, have a look at Verk. He's going to actually take off in P2. I still can't believe this. Verk is actually going to end up in P2, ladies and gentlemen. I think we should actually give some context to that. The Red Bull in P4 is close enough to both the McLaren and Ferrari. Though it's been a great battle for both of them, it won't matter. Red Bull's going to retake P2. It's going to be Bags and Verk, and Frosty, Oz and Yusuf will fall down to P3 and P4. Then Frosty knows what he needs to do. Bags Liddell has fought, but he no longer needs to fight. Last lap of racing, 36 of 36. Frosty's going to come back at him. Down the inside goes the Scuderia Ferrari. He is going to make the move stick and stone. The McLaren could come back at him. Yusuf Goat goes up to P2 on the final lap of racing. Bags Liddell will win this race, but at least some final laps of action never upset anyone. What a race it's been. Exciting from start to finish. Enthralling, dramatic. safety cars, it had crashes, it had overtakes, and it had people spinning all over the show. What I can tell you, Red Bull Ring continues to offer year by year, season by season, on here in Austria. Here in the Red Bull Ring, it offered one man the chance to win, and it offered Bags Liddell the chance to win. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Red Bull Ring, Bags Liddell wins the Austrian Grand Prix. P2 is Verk in the Red Bull. P3 is Frosty Oz in the Ferrari. Your podium is set. McLaren of Yusuf does unfortunately miss out. And ladies and gentlemen, on lap 36 of 36, your winner clearly, fairly, and excitingly wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Now, I'm going to say something real quick. I'm really stupid because I've got Creator Series tomorrow and I've destroyed my voice. So I hope by the time I wake up, we're good to go once again. I do not lie, I am drenched in sweat. I am so sweaty right now. I need a drink. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've got some good news for you. I'm not surprised, JP. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll sponsor you and supply It's driver interviews. We got them. They're here. And boy, oh boy, have we got some questions for the drivers. What a race that's been. My God. Honestly, round of applause to all the drivers, because that was something special, ladies and gentlemen. I am shell-shocked. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our first person here. That is Frosty. How are you doing, mate? We won't interview just straight away. We're going to let the other podium drivers get in, but hopefully you are well.
I'm all good, mate. Doing well, so. Good race, just, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it in the,
Yeah, of course.
No,
Yeah,
good race, that's for sure.
Yep, and we're just waiting on both Verk and Bags Liddell. Obviously, you finished in P3, but we'll wait for the last two, and then we'll get interviews underway, ladies and gentlemen. VSC V1 Austria does come to a close, but the stream does not end yet. Like I said, we have got driver interviews to get through. Just currently waiting on the other two drivers to eventually join us. And if not, at least we got someone to interview. Whatever the case may be, we're slowly going to get into it. Zanin Plays, once again, thank you for being such a loyal viewer in the Twitch chat. And great comms yesterday in V2, so great job for him. Zanin Plays, it is now Max Verstappen podcast time. Fair enough, that is a good analogy. And either way, great job to everyone that has supported me and the drivers out on track today. It was a fantastic effort, nevertheless. Either way, we're going to see if we can get the podium finishes here. Just having a look, we've only got Frosty for the time being, so we're going to just quickly call them out real quick. Get your fucking asses in here, alright? Let's not take too... We're still there, so we're waiting. I'm going to add him in Discord as well, just so we can hurry that up. Whew. I'll tell you what, man, that was some fantastic racing. Especially between you and Bags, man. We got Bags Liddell now. We have our race winner. We're missing one more, ladies and gentlemen. And then we can get interviews underway. We are waiting for the one and only to a P2 position at the very end. Thank you, Social Queen, for tagging them in Discord. Yeah, let's please hurry this up so we can get some interviews underway.
Verk can't do an interview tonight.
Oh, he can't? Oh, okay.
No.
Alright, well, Verk in P2, congratulations on the podium. Going, I'm sure, celebrating away, but unfortunately he can't join us in the interview. Either way, everything's settled down now. I'm done with the yelling and screaming. Ladies and gentlemen, in P3, Frosty, how are you, man?
Not doing too bad, thanks. Not doing too bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, you had a fantastic race out there, especially with Bags Liddell. It lasted pretty much all the way up until that first safety car was deployed. I mean, how did that go for you? Do you think there was any opportunity of you winning if there was no penalty on your name?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate with the penalty. I might have got a double penalty somewhere that didn't show, like, only as one warning, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's alright. But no, the battling was good. It was good fun. I'm learning no TC in proper races, and that's obviously hurting my pace a little bit because obviously I'm behind Bags and he's pulling 2/10 out of every corner.
Yeah.
Or I'm just stuck trying to struggle behind. But now it's a good race. That safety car maybe shafted me a little bit since should have pitted, but you know I shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's whatever. But yeah, it was good battling towards the end. I don't know if I tapped Bags at the end. It didn't look like it. I'm not too sure, but if I did, that's not bad. But P3, I'll take it. It's a shame I got that penalty. But no, it was fun battling all the way, and a bit of DRS chicken was played, but it was good fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic effort. Obviously, you started on pole position as well. Do you think there was anything you could really do from pole, or like especially on that first lap, or was it just kind of defend your position as well as possible?
To be honest, it wasn't. I wasn't really too worried about the first lap. If they stuck on my behind until DRS opened, I didn't really matter because I know that they would have formed the pack and gotten up to me anyway. That's just how Austria is. It's just such a DRS track, and you can't really do a breakaway, especially against the good boys when you got a good pack. So
Yeah.
I was more worried about just saving ERS, positioning myself, not wasting too much tyres, not wasting too much ERS, and that was kind of working until the first safety car got thrown out. Then
Yeah.
it was just kind of pit strategy and trying to just maintain your pace was the main goal at the end. So
Yeah, either way, the strategy would have been thrown off. Obviously, we go on to Baku next week for round 2 on the 25th and 26th of January. Any type of strategy you're planning there, or is it just about getting some practice in and getting ready for this week?
to be honest, just not crash.
Yeah.
Just that's all it is, just practice and not crash, because Azerbaijan is understeer city, and obviously, yeah, that doesn't go too well when you're on a delayed setup, but it's whatever. I'll just practice and see how I can do next week. A good start to the season for me, so can't complain.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, congratulations on P3. Go enjoy the podium. And now we move on to the race winner, a man who had a battle with our good man in P3, Frosty, for so many laps it was getting hard to count it anymore. Bags Liddell, congratulations on P1.
Thank you.
Tell me, how did your race go? How do you think it went for you?
I think it went about as well as I could have asked for, really. Start was, I was just biding my time. I wasn't going to be aggressive because I knew some of the guys around me were probably going to try and want to push a bit more, burn that battery, so I was just saving it up. Got a bit unlucky. I got 2 warnings early on in the first 4 laps or so. So from there on, I was just sort of not quite pushing as much as I could, and then yeah, that early safety car thankfully helped me out a bit with the guys in front of me not boxing.
Yep. Well, in qualifying, it looked like you were going to have pole there. You had provisional pole for most of the session before it was eventually snatched by Frosty and Websy as well, who made it up to P2 originally. Did you have anything left in the tank in qualifying, or do you think it just kind of fell away from you?
I definitely reckon I could have improved. Yeah, I set that time at the very start of the session, and then I basically left it until the end, and then unfortunately messed up turn 1, and that was it from there. But still, I mean, second row, not the worst. Definitely more pace to be found, but not really complaining too much considering how the race ended up going.
Well, I'll guess I'll ask the same question that I asked Frosty to you. Obviously, round 2, we're going into Baku next week. Is there any type of plan you're kind of going in with, or is it just the same thing he said, just try and not crash?
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks where you just have to survive. It's really the name of the game, especially on this game with how much more slippery the track surface is. Like, there's just so little grip and the walls are so tight. So yeah, really have to, I guess, drive at like 70% and just make it to the end.
Yep. Do you think you reached McLaren's expectations? You know, what the team principal set? You had your teammate who nearly made it onto the podium. Unfortunately, he also picked up a time penalty compared to some of the other drivers. Do you think you've met expectations there with the win?
I would certainly hope so. I mean, it doesn't really get better than
Yep.
a win in the first race of the season.
Yep, fair enough. Well, either way, congratulations on P1, and from that end of the stream here, ladies and gentlemen, both P3 and P1, and obviously P2 can go enjoy themselves and go enjoy their podium. But from me, from the podium finishes here in the interview room, ladies and gentlemen, my name's been Jamie Perry. You can call me JP, JPM13, or just Jamie for that matter. Tomorrow I'm doing Creator Series F2. I'll make sure to link it somewhere in VSC. I'll also do it in OFI because obviously going to be the biggest event I've ever done, and should be a good one. Either way, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in and showing support for both the drivers and the interviewees. Cheers and goodbye.